Hello, everybody. I'm going to give this just a minute or so while we wait for everyone to join us, but we're going to get started very, very quickly because we have a lot to cover today. So in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick this off and get us going. I want to introduce our panel to you today and thank everybody for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about selling on Walmart so that you can diversify your sales channel. Our panel today consists of Sid, Sahoo, and Sid is the Senior Manager of Strategic Partnerships with Walmart, and we're very thankful to have him joining us and to help guide you through the process of getting onto Walmart and giving you some information on how that can happen. And then we also have Tim Bildstein, and Tim is the Sales Supervisor at SellerActive, and I'm Kim Wren. I'm the Director of Business Development at SkuVault. Together, we're going to talk to you today about selling on Walmart, diversifying, and having more sales. So we have a lot to go over. I want to let you know that we welcome your questions, and we do have a lot of questions that have been sent in already. We will try to get to as many as we can, but we can't promise that we'll get to all of them. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Sid. Oh, let me go over the agenda with you real quick. I'm sorry. Ellis, if you want to take that back. The agenda today, right here in front of you, we've got the introduction that we just went through. We're going to look at the 2020 trends in e-commerce, why you want to sell on Walmart Marketplace, how to grow your sales with SellerActive, how to deliver fast, reliable fulfillment with SkuVault, and then how the three of us work together, SkuVault, SellerActive, and Walmart Marketplace. We all intertwine, and we want to give you that information. And then how to become a Walmart seller. Of course, that's what you're all wanting to know. So with that, Sid, I'm turning this over to you.
So much, Kim.
I think actually, I'm going to jump in here a little quick here. This is Tim jumping, kind of talking, no worries, talking about kind of the trends and the needs for diversification here. So really to go with the theme of the day and regarding to the importance of diversification and the immediate rise of Walmart Marketplace. It was around a year ago this time we saw many sellers, our sellers reaching out, starting to struggle with their current business model in their primary marketplace. So whether that was by means of product categorical restraints or simple limitations with fulfillment, many, had the burden of only selling on Amazon, only using FBA, and this created essentially chaos for many of our sellers in general. So sellers really needed to find a new revenue stream to make more money and also allocate their risks. So our sellers in particular who were able to get on Walmart not only survived during late Q1, Q2 last year by diversifying, but ended up excelling. So looking at our data, the demand and sales volume surged on Walmart, quickly becoming our number 2 marketplace in terms of seller GMV. Just looking at some of the numbers, Walmart with over 100 million plus unique visitors per month and the smaller number of sellers, it's giving your product exposure about 13 times more visibility than to that of Amazon. So it's far less saturated. They're looking for catalog items and there's far less exposure, some key things to take away there. And then kind of looking at the retail evolution being expedited this past year. Many of us who've been in e-commerce for 10 years or so now have firsthand seen the growth. And e-commerce has been growing at a healthy clip on average of about 17% year over year. In 2020, that number almost doubled to 32%, just under $800 billion. Now, there's two really main prevailing factors we've seen to attribute to those numbers. One, the continual evolution of more advanced, the tech savvy generation, millennials, Gen Z wanting things quick and easy. Their purchasing power is only going to continue to grow as the years go on. Number two, with retail stores shutting down or temporarily shutting down, this also opened the opportunity for the baby boomer generation, even Gen Z, move to more online shopping. And of all age groups, baby boomers online shopping jumped 49% in 2020 compared to 2019, making this generation the fastest group of growing online sellers. So Now, jumping to Walmart, if you think about it, it's really a logical business concept. The more methods or opportunity you give the consumer to purchase your product, and in this case, Walmart, it is only going to continue to help your business. And the data backs it up. Every generation is shifting their focus to online purchasing. And yeah, that's kind of a quick little background. So I'll let Sid talk what everybody wants to hear about the Walmart opportunity here.
Thanks, Tim. Actually, you said it. You teed this up perfectly for the rest of the conversation about why Walmart. So, with that, let's dive right in. So, that's kind of the message right away. So, Walmart serves more customers today than anyone else can, and we're continuing to do that. Tim said it very well. So, over the last year, the number of folks that are coming to Walmart has increased organically, and a part of it is also a lot of it to do with the pandemic. With shifting demographics and the needs, folks have been coming to rely on Walmart as their trusted go-to source for everything. It's not just the store that you have there, the brick and mortar store that's available, but also the online component. And we really saw that surge over the pandemic. Tim and I were working very closely to build out that pipeline of SellerActive sellers that were pretty much blocked in terms of being able to proceed with their current business model on Amazon. And so we were able to work with them to figure out how they can get their assortment on Walmart and, have that other channel and diversify into that space as well. And the whole idea is to do this while also kind of offering this best-in-class experience to both our customers and also to create a similar, excellent experience for our sellers as well. So let's go a little bit more into some of the reasons for why now, right? So Tim already spoke a little bit to this. We currently have about 120 million unique monthly visitors. And these are folks that are coming and getting eyes on the site as well. And so by coming on board on Walmart, you're getting and exposing your products and your assortment to that large base as well. And over the last year, we've also grown 79% in 2020, and we're only going to continue to grow grow even faster, both in our e-commerce and marketplace side of things. And so we're super excited to have everyone kind of join and boost your sales and performance on our platform as well. Yep, we can skip this one real quick. It covers everything else. So in terms of demographics, a little bit of who's here. So about 90% of the US population is within 10 miles of a brick and mortar Walmart, right? So they're all shopping at Walmart, and then they're also looking to move to the website as well and use the Walmart e-commerce and Walmart marketplace side of things as well. In terms of demographics, the key demographic we serve in terms is families with kids. Families with kids that these are families that own their own home. They're shopping, and they're the largest growing demographic that we have. We do serve everyone else that Tim also mentioned, including the baby boomers, Gen X, the up and coming shoppers that are finally becoming adults as well. And we're hoping to capture them as part of the demographic. These are folks that are digitally native. They're shopping and used to TikTok and social shopping, and that's another space that we're eventually hoping to move into. In terms of search and discovery, the discovery has increased 56% year over year, and that's continuing to go up. And these are folks not just coming to the site, but they're also they're using the marketplace assortment to find that unique item that they want, and then they're continuing to stay within the ecosystem and shop on Walmart, use other capabilities such as buy online, pick up in store, return in store, online grocery. We're also expanding our healthcare capabilities, so you can kind of see how that whole omni-channel strategy and where Walmart Marketplace fits into that overall thing. So it's very helpful for you to become a part of such a powerful ecosystem with so much reach to the US population. And what are we looking for? We're looking for sellers to come on board with us. And as Tim mentioned, you have 13 times more eyes on your site being with us. And that's kind of by design. We're looking for those sellers that'll offer an excellent customer experience And we try to avoid some of the other challenges that shoppers and sellers see on other platforms in terms of fraud, in terms of competition with anyone that can, spool up a quick store and sell. And so a part of that is, we're selective in terms of the sellers that we take on. And we work very closely to empower them for success as well. Sellers can sell with confidence, boost their growth through the various programs that we offer. And we're continuing to improve that experience for both customers and sellers as well. And one of the key differentiating factors that we have is that there are no monthly setup or any other fees. The only fees that we charge is a commission rate when you sell. And with the next slide, I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like for different categories. You can kind of see it's very competitive across different categories. And we continue to improve these as well. We're also experimenting a lot with promotions. You may have heard about our new seller savings campaign that we ran in the month of February through the month of March, end of March, where anyone signing up during that period would get 0% commissions for their first month of sales after they went live. We're continuing to experiment with ideas like that in ways that sellers can come on board, try out our platform, see how they can diversify on Walmart. And so keep an eye out. In addition to changing the commission rates as well, slightly in certain categories, we're going to continue to experiment in different ways like that. So you'll hear about this more through us and our partners at SkuVault and SellerActive as well. All right. And who are we looking for? So in terms of coming on board with us, and these might be some of the questions that you might ask, right? So we're trying to get experienced e-commerce sellers, and these are US-based sellers that have an EIN, a US tax ID, and a W-9. We're also looking for folks that have a history of marketplace or e-commerce experience. So this could be through your own site, selling on other platforms like Amazon, eBay, Wish, etc. And also a compelling product catalog. So how can we add to the overall Walmart.com assortment? And also for sellers that are able to offer competitive pricing on the site as well. And we also look for sellers that they're able to offer a great customer experience. And this is everything from fast and reliable shipping, high quality listings, the ability to provide great customer service as well. So those are some of the criteria that we screen for when sellers apply. And one other thing I'd like to add is that we recently launched the capability for Chinese and sellers for Hong Kong and mainland China sellers to come on board with us. That's something that's continuing to evolve, but there is a pipeline that we're building out, and feel free to reach out to your partners in order to find out more about that in the process. So it's still a process that's being built out, but as that expands, that pipeline will grow. So just something to be aware of as well. And so what does the process look like? I mean, you come on board, you request to sell with us, you submit an application, tell us about your business. And then soon after that, you accept the contract, register, sign up, and accept all the steps on our Seller Center platform. And then you onboard, get all your items listed, and then you're ready to go. So it's a pretty straightforward process. The typical timeline is about 2 weeks for most sellers that are going through the happy path. But there are certain cases where it could take longer if our trust and safety team needs additional information, or there's some other vetting, or there's some other areas that we need to work with in order to get that through. And this is something that we'll leave you with. I think Kim mentioned that we're going to be sharing the presentation after this as well. So the basics we look for are your business information when you're as a part of being set up, contact name, your corporate address, your business documentation, W-9, W-8, EIN, and then in case you're a Chinese seller, we also look for W-8 Benny. In terms of payments, our payout mechanisms, we have two providers. We have Payoneer and Hyperwallet. So you would set that up in order to be able to receive payments from us. And then shipping, this is where you provide information on how you ship. So what we recommend is for sellers to offer fast shipping on as many of their products as they can, particularly the fast moving, high demand ones. And we have the ability for sellers to both ship themselves. They can work with a partner that we have, such as Deliver, or also take advantage of Walmart Fulfillment Services, our own FBA-like solution that's ramping. That's currently scaling, so there is a little bit of a wait list for folks that are coming on. But as you grow and as you come on board and as you show your sales through working with us, we do have the ability to kind of prioritize folks for that as well. The other thing I would mention is your catalog. So we do look for folks to put as much of their catalog on Marketplace as possible, and we see those sellers to get a higher lift. So the more catalog you can put on board, and the more fast shipping, and the more promotions that you do, sorry, by promotions I mean sponsored products or highlighting those products, you will create that flywheel and move those things forward. And then let's move to the next slide real quick. And so with that, we're continuing to innovate and improve our seller experience in terms of programs and services that we offer. So we launched 2-day 2 years ago. We also launched a 3-day program in order to kind of still offer fast shipping, but with sellers that are, give sellers that ability to take advantage of being able to meet a lower threshold, but still faster than 5 to 7 days. We also recently launched Walmart Fulfillment Services. We have a Pro Seller badge, which is another identifier on the site that shows you as a professional seller. You offer great customer service, fast shipping. You have great products, great reviews, high quality listings, and it's another badge of confidence that customers can use to move forward with. So with that, I think I'm done with my section, and I'll hand it off to Tim.
Tim here. Yeah, thanks, Sid. And we see firsthand inbound chats, phone calls. The demand is there, and Sid and his team are overwhelmed at the same time with applications. So, advice when you're getting these applications, it comes down to transparency, credibility on these. So we do help clients get approved, which we can talk later on there. I usually do a quick review of their current selling channels, which can, make sure we're getting the right information put elsewhere. But you can go to the next slide now here. Great. So once you do get up and running on Walmart, where does SellerActive come in? So, we want you to be efficient as possible in this process. So we want sellers to really focus their time on product research, development, customer service. If anyone has ever spent the time to list on marketplaces, they're going to realize that each marketplace, each category has their own granular requirements, specific to that general category. So when SellerActive first get signed up with us, we want to import that catalog. And when we do that within the coding system, what we've been able to do is take that data, hit a button called Stage, which essentially takes the draft of the listing, tries to map it over to the correct category on the corresponding marketplace, Walmart in this case. So it makes it a very quick and easy process to ingest the data, map it to the correct category. And then if there's any incomplete data, we'll be intuitive in the sense we'll tell you what fields need to be filled out in order to publish it. If there's any errors, we're going to pinpoint what exactly needs to be fixed on that listing to get it published. So we do see, that question come up quite a bit when people reach out, I'm having errors publishing, or I'm having trouble finding the correct tax ID for this specific category. Well, we're going to help clean up that process so you can focus on the less tedious tasks. So continual listing, that's a real big advantage. If you're not just listing, once or twice a year, we also have a built-in database inside SellerActive, which allows you in 2 different ways. One, if you like using your own custom Excel file, you can still use in your file, upload that file to us. If it's an existing product, all we really need is that product ID. We're going to go out there, find the corresponding information relative to that ID on the required fields on Walmart. So you give us a UPC, a product number, we're going to find the titles, the descriptions, the bullet points, the images. So it's a lot quicker, easier process to attach to those listings. Now, if it's a new catalog item, you can upload the same file into us, and we're going to kind of pinpoint what exactly needs to be filled out. So it's a big time saver for one, first getting started, two, continual listing. And then, for brand owners, or if you own the product information, instead of having to jump to the marketplace to make small modifications, to adjusting titles, adjusting images or descriptions, you can also make that with inside SellerActive here. All right, go to the next slide. So in the buy box more often. So I think the buy box is probably one of the single most important items to achieving or maximizing your sales. When a buyer is looking for an item, they're simply trying to add to cart, which is, essentially buying the product. So what SellerActive does, and really kind of two things we do within this new price notification model. Back Q4 last year, we were using the old report methodology, and we upgraded that system to a new webhook based notification pricing system. And I'll cover the details a little later. And we have a good article that covers to the exact extent of what it's doing. But more importantly, when we activated that new pricing tool, we looked at the GMV compared to Amazon, to Walmart on that same listing, and sales jumped from 10% to 31% GMV on that same listing when we add in this new pricing change. So we get a lot of people reaching out. How does it work? Well, basically, anytime we see a change in the buy box owner, we get an immediate notification and able to send that back to Walmart to try to undercut the buy box by a penny. And it also runs on a timer stamp to make sure it continually checks to make sure you own the buy box, and we'll go down by a penny until we get it. Obviously, there's going to be some thresholds in there to jump your price up, to make sure you don't go too low, to stay within your bounds of min and max price. But it's been essentially a game changer since we added this into Q4 for our clients, a huge uptick in revenue there. And a couple other methods we do, price mirroring. If you don't want to do direct pricing or don't have direct competition on Walmart, we can mirror price over from another marketplace and mark it up or down a certain percentage. So you can essentially use one marketplace to dictate your price, mirror that over to Walmart. If you're a private label seller and you want to set sales thresholds, or essentially velocity, we call it, you can say, hey, I want to sell 10 units in a specific time frame. If you don't sell 10 units in a week, you want your price to drop by a certain percentage or dollar amount. So it tries to really move the price up, and down based off unit goals. So during peak season, you may be leaving money on the table. So we want to make sure to maximize your price while sales velocity goes up. And down season, we want to maximize throughput and move the price down a little bit. So altogether, just since we've added this new pricing tool into the latest data we have collected with the new pricing change, 84% of our sellers own the buy box across the board with the new strategy. So I think with that, I will let Kim talk about SkuVault.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Great information so far. Everybody excited. I hope you're all enjoying what you're hearing. So I want to talk to you a little bit about SkuVault and let you know who we are and what we do. We are a IMS WMS, meaning that we help you solve the problems within your warehouse and keeping your inventory straight. We are a cloud-based service that's designed for accurate fulfillment with labor savings, and we have features to help keep your warehouse running smoothly and efficiency by managing and tracking your inventory at scale. So with that, just showing you a little bit of our client base. We've been around several years now. We service some companies like L9 Sports, Pioneer Woman, Green Chef. We have 39 different industries and 6,400 plus users and about 1,100 companies that are using our system now. Our clients range all the way up into the billions of dollars, so we can handle just about anything you want to throw at us. We have a native connection to Walmart, so that you can connect directly. But more importantly, we have a native connection to SellerActive. And this allows us to take your product, send it to them, let them take everything and send that out to Walmart, but then we can get the products from them. So you're not putting everything in twice, and you're using SkuVault to help you power your warehouse. Next slide, please. Because we want you to know that you have results that you can trust with us. With SkuVault, you have fewer out of stocks, and that means that you get the products to your clients. You're selling more, you're ordering in a more efficient manner. You have faster fulfillment. That means that you're meeting all of your goals and that you're hitting your seller goals that you need to. And you're working the way that Walmart wants to see you working. You have fewer misships. Nobody wants misships. And you're lowering your labor costs. So with this, we want you to know that we're fanatical about our clients' growth. We do want to help our clients succeed. Our average client grew 22% in 2020. And we all know that the business supplies, everybody came home to work and went up, and apparel went down because we all started living in sweatpants and t-shirts. And nobody had to get dressed up to go to work. So, you know, that's where we are. But when you look at the others in the middle with the electronics and the 3PLs and everything else, that's where SkuVault has really seen and helped people to manage their inventory and manage their warehouse and make sure that they're getting these orders out constantly, correct, and in record time. So this is what I really want to go over with you, is this pick and pack process. SkuVault can help you scale your operation and not have to scale your staff as quickly. We help you make sure that you're getting the right product picked every single time by using a QC process that will help you by using scan guns. You are going to your warehouse, you are routing your labor through your warehouse in a very efficient manner, and you are picking products using this scan gun and ensuring that you're picking the right product every single time. So we're looking at your Walmart order and we know what's on that Walmart order. You're scanning that order into our system. Our system is telling you, go to this location, pick this product, and pick this quantity of it. And if your workers aren't doing that, we're letting them know with an error message so that they're aware every single time that they're getting that out there correctly. And this gives you a much more efficient operation rather than the old system of run, grab an item, run back and get it to your shipping station. And we all know that back in the day, many people did it this way, but we need much more efficient operations as we grow. So with SkuVault, you end up with the intelligent inventory and warehouse management system. The QC is obviously very important, but also we can help you assemble kits and bundles and make sure that you're getting that all ready correctly. So if you're selling a bundle on Walmart and you want to get that pre-assembled, you can track that in SkuVault. SkuVault allows you to track individual SKUs, also kits and bundles, case packs and lots, and make sure that every piece of inventory is available for every configuration that you need it to be available for all the time and accurately. And so we're taking those orders that come in, we're looking at what's going on, we're deducting the quantity, and we're sending the correct quantity back out to every area within your inventory that we need to. And we're also then sending that back out to your connection. So in this case, this would go back out to SellerActive, who would then forward this on to Walmart so that you would make sure that you always had the right quantity out there at Walmart. And then we provide inventory certainty by making sure that your locations are set up in a way that makes sense. It's dynamic, meaning you don't have to have a set location for all of your products. And this is really important in a warehouse where your space may be limited, and especially when you're growing and you're trying to figure out where to make everything fit. It's very simple to get SkuVault set up so that you can just slot your products wherever you have an open slot where your product will fit, and not have to constantly keep all of your shoes in one place and maybe all of your t-shirts in one place. And perhaps you have to keep all of your sunglasses in another place. If you have an opening where your t-shirts can fit and it previously held shoes, that's okay, because you're scanning that in and you're getting it into the system. So this is a little bit of how SkuVault can help you. And now I'm going to bring everybody back into this so that we can talk about how SellerActive, Walmart, and SkuVault can help you get everything going together, because we do all interact, we all connect, and we all have a piece of the pie for you to get you going and to help you sell on Walmart. So let's talk about the next steps a little bit. What you would want to do to get going is you want to set up a demo, and you want to do that with either SkuVault or SellerActive, and do that first. Do that before you try to get into the seller application for Walmart. let us help you prepare for the application process so that you can avoid some of the common application issues that may come up. And we have been in close contact with Sid, and we're aware of some of the things that we might need to guide you on. And then from there, you can fill out this new seller application for Walmart. And then SkuVault and SellerActive can work together to help you and to guide you over to Walmart, and so you can navigate that process. Sid, did you have more to add on that?
Yeah, no, thank you, Kim. I just wanted to add something based on what both you and Tim mentioned, is that kind of given how our trust and safety and our vetting works, we look for sellers to be open and to provide as much information as they can about their business. And those are the things that we look for, in addition to being an experienced seller on the platform, on other platforms, or have, you know, a website of your own, and also high quality listings. So those are some of the key things we look for. There are certain cases in which things will get delayed, and it will be because sellers will need additional vetting from our team. And in this case, you can follow up either with your contact, either at SkuVault or SellerActive, or just open a support request directly with the Walmart team in order to kind of figure out what additional information you need to move forward. So what we try to do is, if we can get you through the first time with as much information as possible, that avoids any loops or any churn there. The other thing that I just kind of want to mention is that there are certain categories and certain areas where there's additional scrutiny. For example, folks that are selling CBD or any other items like that, or particularly during the early days of the pandemic, N95 masks, things like that are considered medical grade. Sorry, let me just close this window here. Medical grade PPE are things that would raise a flag as well. So just things to be aware of as you're applying. And these are things that Tim and Kim can kind of coach you through as well.
So right now I've been getting a lot of question and answers coming in. So I'm going to feed some of them to our panelists now. We have the 6 questions that were that kind of was the common theme across a lot of what was being discussed. So if Kim, Tim, and Sid, if you guys want to tackle these guys, I'll go through the ones that have been submitted over the course of the webinar and give those over to you in the chat.
Sure, sounds good. How do you keep from overselling on Walmart? Well, I'm going to hop in here on this one and let you know that SkuVault can help you with that. One of the things that we do is help you make sure that you're keeping your inventory correct all the time by making sure that you're picking the right item, updating your inventory quantity counts every time an order comes in and every time you pick an item, and then sending that back out to your connections to make sure that you're keeping the correct quantity up to date. We also have a great buffer system so that if you have a hot seller, you can hold something back. If you have something that tends to break on the shelf occasionally, you can hold that back. Or if you've got a product that you know you have quite a bit of, you can set that up to sell larger quantities and lots of different ways.
Yeah, and how does the Walmart buy box differ from the Amazon buy box? I think we at SellerActive would love if Sid could give us the full secret of what the algorithm is there. But no, I think in general, you know, it's the same essential functionality wise. It's the add to cart, the buy it now feature. It comes down to the same metrics. You know, if you have a low price, you ship the product out, lead time to ship is low. And I think WFS may help with that as their fulfillment program goes up. That would be the logical thing. But, you know, having great feedback, a low price and quick shipping times, that's always the key to, you know, getting the sale.
And I can chime in a little bit more on that. So again, with the algorithm, we can't give away how that works specifically. In fact, they don't even tell us internally the specifics of that. But those are some of the key things that Tim hit upon. In addition to that, you also want to kind of complete that flywheel by also making sure that your products show up high on search results. And in addition to those, you know, high quality listings, high quality images are other factors that come into play. So through Seller Center, you have the ability, we have a new listing quality dashboard that kind of helps you optimize your listings, and it even gives you a score compared to all your other listings and also to other folks as well. So that kind of helps you see how your listings fare compared to others. In addition to that, the fast shipping is another thing that helps you show up higher in terms of search relevancy and also with the algorithm. So 2-day shipping, fast shipping. We also are able to look at sellers that are able to take advantage of WFS. That's another factor that will help. So, as that scales, that's definitely something to take advantage of. And then the last thing is just sponsored products, making sure that you're, taking advantage of that program in order to boost your listings, particularly if you're don't have any relevancy early on coming in. And then the last thing is just ratings. Make sure that you're getting some ratings there. Especially in that 0 to 5 rating range. That's where you see a lot of lift. So those are some of the things you can do early on to kind of help show up higher in the buy box. And then pricing. I can take the next one. So how does Walmart compare to Deliver or FBA? So I'm assuming that means Walmart fulfillment services. So the way we have it set up is that WFS or Walmart Fulfillment Services is our answer to FBA. So that's the internal Walmart solution that we've built out and are looking to scale and ramp. So in terms of pricing, it's supposed to be competitive with that. The idea is that you would ship all your inventory to a warehouse or a set of warehouses, and we're continuing to expand that capacity nationwide. And so as that scales, you'll have the ability to have an FBA-like experience through Walmart. The difference with Deliver is that Deliver is a third-party partner of ours. So they're integrated into our ecosystem, and they work well with SellerActive and all our other partners as well. And they're able to offer an FBA-like solution as well. So what we've seen is that sellers that don't have the ability to fulfill nationwide are taking advantage of this partner Deliver and also applying for Walmart fulfillment services at the same time. So it's kind of set up in terms of a progression stage, right? So you come on board with Walmart, you want to be able to succeed. So you would look to put as much of your inventory, and you can also fulfill as much as you can yourself based on your region. So like we have this regional map setting where you can take advantage of fulfilling using ground shipping, USPS, FedEx, and UPS, and then delivering by ground within 2 days and turning those regions on. So for example, if you have a fulfillment center in the greater LA area, then you can turn on 2-day around that area. And then for other fast moving SKUs, you might want to take advantage of 2-day nationwide, depending on the time of the year and what you're selling and how it's ramping. And then also apply for FBA. And once you get in, you kind of reevaluate your strategy as well. So we've seen sellers take advantage of a combination of different things in order to be successful. I think I'll take number 4 as well. Do I need to have my own website in order to sell on the Walmart marketplace? You don't. So we look for a combination of different things. We do want to work with sellers that have some prior marketplace experience or some online selling experience. So that could be in the form of your own website or selling on other marketplace platforms as well. Not having this doesn't mean that you won't get accepted, but it's definitely a factor that we look for in terms of sellers that have that ability to, provide our customers with the experience that we're looking for. It comes back to that whole curated marketplace experience. I think I'll take number 5 as well. Is it possible to use storefront website on Shopify or other platforms to sell on the marketplace? Yes, you can. So with Shopify, just last year, we built out an integration with them on their Shopify app store. So it's a Walmart marketplace integration. So you can use that to pull all your listings off of Shopify and also make those available and publish those to the Walmart marketplace as well. So that's just one way in which we're continuing to evolve with our partners and make a variety of different options for selling available. So.
And then will SkuVault or SellerActive be integrating with WFS? I'm going to let Tim go first on this if you'd like, Tim, because I think you have a little more information than we do.
We will, yes. It's definitely being requested, especially with the doors being open more this year on Walmart's end. So very soon, we have I think 1 or 2 projects we're trying to get out before we look at that. But we can still list products to Walmart. The problem is maintaining inventory from WFS. So that's the tricky part right now. So it will be soon. I can get back to you if you have any questions or want to shoot me a direct email and when that is released.
Yep. And just to add on a little bit more on that, so the WFS team has made APIs open to our partners as well. And so, partners are starting to work with that, and it should be something coming down the pipeline as WFS continues to mature and evolve. So making that available to our partners as well.
And I know from the SkuVault point of view, we are looking at it. We've started the research. That's where we're at on it right now. We know we're in the same boat. We're having a lot of requests, and we know it's something we need to do. So we've started the preliminary research. I can't answer any other questions on it, but you can shoot me an email if you want to talk further about that. And with that, Ellis, do you have other questions for us?
Oh boy, we've got a lot of them. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's blowing up in a good way. So let's take a couple of these at the top. I'll let you all decide who's best to answer that. So does Walmart allow for non-US sellers to open a seller account yet?
Yep, I can take this one. So we are venturing into that as we speak. So I don't know if you've been watching the news, but about a month ago, we announced that we are working with mainland China and Hong Kong sellers, and starting to build out that pipeline. That's a big area for growth for us, and so it is something that we've started. But right now, that pipeline and that process is evolving. It's similar to how we started with WFS. We launched it. We are able to, support a certain number of sellers coming in through that pipeline. And as that grows, we are able to kind of continue to build that out and also look to expand that further. So definitely keep in touch with your partners here. And then keep an eye out for more information from us. So we do have a pipeline specifically from our trusted partners in terms of sellers that we think would be a good fit for that program applying. And then we also have folks working directly with Walmart China, where there's a pipeline there, and sellers are applying directly there for the US marketplace.
Great. Kim, this is mostly for you. Does SkuVault interface with any existing cloud ERP solutions?
We do have connections through ERP systems. We connect in various ways with those. Please feel free to reach out to me directly and I can talk to you about that. We can discuss what system you're looking at and how we connect, because it is an ERP. They're all a little different. So I don't want to get too deep into how we do it, but we have direct connections with several. And we also have connections via connectors with others that are pre-built connectors, by the way.
Tim, I sent this ahead. I want to kind of summarize it a little bit. It sounds like with Walmart, you need to find the correct UPC or GTIN. They have a plugin, the Clark does, that sometimes helps, but it only gives a product ID. Does SellerActive have a way to help connect up UPC and GTIN within the system?
Correct. Yeah. So it's a couple different things there. One, when you ingest the catalog, we do this staged listings process, which goes out there and searches other marketplaces and connects to data centers, which connects those together automatically. And then it's going to sit there in a draft status so you can kind of review the product prior to publishing. So one, ingesting the catalog, and two, continually listing the products. If you were just to scan in a UPC or GTIN code, we're going to pull up the corresponding product IDs related to that product ID. So there's a couple of different ways in our system that you can check to make sure that the correct product ID prior to publishing out.
Great. Another question that's kind of for all of you. Once on board at Walmart, can we also sell on Walmart Canada? Can SellerActive and SkuVault help with that?
So I can start on this if you'd like. We do have a connection with Walmart Canada, and we can help you with that. So that's something that we've had for a while, and we do push inventory, and of course we also push it to SellerActive.
Yeah, we don't have an integration today. This is SellerActive, so I know it is being more requested. So eventually, we probably will have that integration built out. I don't have an exact time frame, but today we do not integrate with that the Canada version.
Okay. Another question for SkuVault and SellerActive: do we integrate with Deliver?
SellerActive does. Yep.
Okay.
And we do not have a connection with Deliver as of yet. It is something we have been talking about. However, one of the issues with that early on was that you needed to have a listing ability, and we don't do listings. We rely on our partners like SellerActive to do that. But as they grow that business, we have been staying in touch with them to see how we can work with them on that.
Great. Sid, what qualifies a seller for a pro seller badge on Walmart?
Yeah, it's a variety of different items. Everything including your kind of what I touched on earlier. It's your listing quality, ability to provide fast shipping rates, and the ratings that you have from customers that are common, are a few of those things that we look at. And in addition, also just overall customer service. How are you performing in terms of 2-day delivery, in terms of customer returns, things like that. Those are some of the different criteria that feed into that process. And then, based on that, you're able to, you're depending on how you perform there, you're granted the badge.
Okay.
And there's more information available on the site and the specifics of how that works.
Tim, another question for you. Does SellerActive have any integration for product reviews?
Nothing quite yet for product reviews. That may be a different API of which we don't integrate with yet. That may be the promotions API, which I'm not the tech expert here, but I believe as Walmart kind of comes out with some new APIs, and Sid may even have some more answers on that he could touch on possibly, but we don't integrate with that API yet.
Yeah, currently that's not something that's available to our marketplace partners yet. But as we continue to build that out, we're looking into more integrations on the advertising side. WFS is the other one, and then we're continuing to kind of build out other services and products. One of the things we're also looking at is on the repricing side, like how can we further integrate capabilities such as what SellerActive is providing into our overall offering as well, to provide that experience. So it's not just being able to list, fast fulfillment, ads, and now it's more seller intelligence and more ability to kind of what's the word I'm looking for here, to kind of manage and to kind of further boost and accelerate your sales, similar to how folks are being able to do that on other platforms. Walmart is trying to work to build those capabilities in-house as well, and through our partners.
Awesome. This might be a Sid/Kim question. Can you update inventory multiple times per day, and how long does it take to show up?
Well, if you're using SkuVault, you can. Our connection runs in near real time, and we connect to Walmart every 5 to 7 minutes to send inventory updates. We do the same with SellerActive. We send those updates very, very quickly, and we have multi-hits. So when we pull an order, we're also updating inventory and sending that quantity count back out. Now I'm going to let Sid talk about the Walmart side.
Yep. No, I mean, our platform allows the ability to be able to do that. So if you're doing that through your partners as well, that's probably the best route in order to make those updates, especially if you're connecting through SellerActive or SkuVault.
Let me look at another one here. There was, Tim, are you able to create a new listing on SellerActive and convert it to WFS within SellerActive?
Not today. So when we do have the WFS connected to SellerActive, we will be able to do that, but not quite yet.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, right now they're independent of each other. So folks that are taking advantage of WFS are doing that, through the WFS platform on the Walmart side.
Sid, got a couple of questions that may not be directly related to this, but questions around like, how do they get into advertising on Walmart?
Yep. So with advertising, anyone that applies for a Walmart marketplace account is eligible for Walmart sponsored products as well. And that's our pay-per-click, keyword listing, keyword bidding solution, similar to what we have on Amazon as well. So that's available to anyone. There is $1,000 minimum budget, but you don't have to spend it all. So it's available for you to test out and try it out. For folks that are looking that have a higher spend in the, it's about $100,000. That's where you can get a dedicated product page, kind of have your own site experience, and then the Walmart Connect group, we can connect you with them if you have other needs to be able to further build that out. So they also do have other advertising partners such as Tenuity and other folks that are able to kind of help you with that sponsored products management. So if you don't want to do it fully self-serve, we do have the other partners on the advertising side to be able to help with that. So please reach out, and as you're applying, we'll definitely set you up for that Walmart sponsored products, and then for the other capabilities, we'll connect you with the Walmart Connect team. The next Connect.
Kind of in the similar vein, we as we've talked through this, I know working with Tim and Kim and our teams is the best way to get people up and going. I've gotten a couple of questions about what are the best resources for them to follow up with if they have questions as existing listers, or for that, is there a resource that you can provide, perhaps after the webinar, of some contact information for various departments for follow-up?
Yep. So on our side, a lot of what's available is just based on scale and just the number of requests we get from it. We have three particular ways to look at it. One is through the seller help site. So there's a lot of very helpful information in terms of the how-tos. We have information in a variety of different things, everything from FAQs to like a step-by-step PDF guides that you can download. And then there's also quick tutorials and videos to help you with that. The second part is through submitting a ticket. And when you do that, we're able to work with our separate teams and kind of route that in the right to the right person. And Tim and Kim definitely help with that. So working, Ellis, you mentioned it very well. So working with our partners is a great way to be able to get that escalated. In certain cases, when things do get stuck or you're not getting the right resolution, this team can help to make sure that it's getting escalated and it's getting the right resolution, and that you're getting your feedback in a timely manner. The one thing I wanted to also point out, I noticed coming through the Q&A, is what's the typical time frame for applications, right? So it varies. So it also depends on how you're applying. So we've seen anything from as short as 2 to 3 days for sellers that provide all the right information. There's no questions about who they are, the kind of business that they are, and that they're an experienced seller. And then up to 2 weeks, depending on the speed at which sellers respond to requests for other information, and they go through the steps, everything from signing the contract, getting set up, listing their products, and then going live. There are cases where it can take longer, and those are some of the things I mentioned earlier. And that's where you, in addition to making sure that you're in constant communication with the Walmart support team, you also work with your account managers and partners on the SKU Vault and SellerActive side to get that across and make sure that they're being resolved.
Awesome. Couple other, let me find a few more. We've got 5 minutes left. I want to get as many in as we can. Terry's asked us, and Terry, I've got your contact information. We'll be in touch with Tim, but she's also asking, we are already a seller on Walmart. Is SkuVault available to us, or do we need to add it?
Of course, SkuVault's available to you. We would love to talk to you about how you can connect everything. And just shoot us an email or click on that demo. We'll get in touch with you either way, but we'd love to talk to you about that.
Let me get a couple more. There's a lot here. Sid, you might not have any insight into this. Do we know if there's going to be additional WFS warehouses added over time?
Yes, so that is the plan, and that's a great question. So they are continuing to add to the distribution. So we started with KY1. There was one in Kentucky. The next plan was to move to 3, and they will continue to expand that network as well. And it's similar strategy to what we've seen both our partners Deliver do, and I'm assuming with Amazon as well, to get that coverage and across the nation, right? The eventual goal is to be able to offer this nationwide and have folks being able to get their assortment into the closest fulfillment center near them, and then also, you know, to scale that and redistribute it, or to figure out that strategy. So yes, that is the eventual plan.
Tim, a question for you. I'll just read it. How can SellerActive build a tool that prevents sellers from migrating used or pre-owned listings from eBay over to Walmart? I guess the question is, are you able to segregate your catalog based upon channel?
You can, yeah. When you import the catalog and you use the stage, which essentially creates the draft, you're sorting which ones you want to transfer over. So you don't have to essentially take your whole catalog and immediately push it over. There's checks in place to make sure you're choosing the correct products to push over. So before you publish it out, you're going to have various statuses or kind of filters in our dashboard that kind of allows you to review the catalog, and you can make sure you're pushing the correct ones out.
Okay, awesome. Another question for you, Sid, is what options does Walmart, already answered that one, sorry. Somebody's looking to maybe push their products. Do you offer any advertising that sellers can use to help elevate their listings within Walmart?
Yep, and that's the sponsored listings piece that I mentioned earlier. So that's the overall strategy. We also have sellers that are boosting through Google Ads as well. Some of them do take advantage of that on their own, but sponsored listings is probably the highest ROI through that's offered through Walmart, and it definitely helps for unique products and getting that initial eyes on your product, especially early on when you're ramping with the site.
Another question for you. For WFS, can you have both a WFS offering and a seller fulfilled offering for the same listing?
That one I might have to check and get back to you on, just because it depends on how the SKU is set up. But I do believe there is a way to do that. If you are working with Tim or Kim, just, you know, please reach out to them and or shoot me a note here, and then I'll respond back to you.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just point out who that is, and I'll share my information.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that last question, a couple of people asked that. It was Clark Ransom.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then it was also Mike D. There was two questions that were almost the same. So I realize there's a lot of very, very specific questions in the question and answer. It's not that we don't want to talk about them. It's just that they're better taken offline. So what we'll do afterwards is we're going to have our sales team be reaching out to both of you. Those are great opportunities to connect with us, channel those through our teams to try to get them answered and find the most direct answers to all of that. Other than that, I think that's about all the questions we have time for. Anything from our panelists before we wrap it up?
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much. Looking forward to working with you.
Okay. Awesome. So just to all the attendees, we're going to be following up with a series of emails. We'll be sharing all of the recordings of this as well as the slide deck as a whole. And then what we'll do, because there's been so many of you over time, we'll continue to work with our teams to get you guys set up and answer all of the questions that we didn't have time to get to today. Thank you so much for attending, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Great stuff, everyone. Are we looking to stay on and debrief, or?
I'll send a separate invite.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Great. See you guys.
Right.